Are you sure snakes no longer rule the earth? Imagine a creature as long as a bus, capable of crushing you with a single movement, or a predator that sees perfectly in the dark and can reach you even when you run for your life. Some snakes are so massive they can swallow a human whole, while others hide in the shadows of cities, waiting silently for the right moment to strike. My name is Arthinox, and this is Cloaked Mysteries. Today, I'm going to reveal the largest and most terrifying snakes to ever walk or slither across our planet. If you stay with me until the end, you'll discover the snake capable of devouring an entire dinosaur and another as fast as a human being. And finally, you'll witness some of these creatures in action scenes as hypnotic as they are unsettling. Ready to uncover the truth? Then let's begin. Titanoboa. Now we travel back in time to an age where a creature existed that almost defies imagination. Picture a snake more than 40 feet long, longer than a school bus. Its body was as thick as a man's waist and weighed over 2,500 pounds. This giant could crush anything in its coils or swallow its prey without leaving a trace. Its name Titanoboa. The first clue of this colossal serpent was found in Colombia, deep inside an abandoned coal mine. Miners stumbled upon what looked like a petrified branch, and nobody gave it any importance for nearly 10 years. But when paleontologists finally examined it, they realized it wasn't wood, it was a gigantic vertebra. A piece of a monster skeleton that might still be hiding somewhere in the jungle. Technically, Titanoboa is extinct. But can we truly be certain? Imagine the dense Amazon rainforest, vast areas untouched by human feet. Thousands of square miles of unexplored jungle where a predator the size of a small dinosaur could easily survive undetected. Alternative researchers and cryptid hunters believe something enormous still crawls out there. Witnesses tell stories of anacondas so huge they reach nearly 50 feet in length. Some of their descriptions sound remarkably similar to Titanoboa. If any part of these claims is real, the forest may be hiding creatures far beyond anything we've ever documented. Now ask yourself, would you dare enter a place where something like that could be waiting, motionless, in the shadows? Anaconda. If you ever find yourself in the Amazon jungle and hear a faint movement in the water, be careful. It might not be a fish. It might be something watching you from below the surface. The giant anaconda doesn't need venom, its entire body is a weapon. 16 feet of dense, unyielding muscle, both majestic and terrifying, capable of crushing nearly any creature caught in its lethal embrace. But its strength isn't the most frightening thing about it, it's the way it hunts. The anaconda is the perfect predator, invisible, silent, unnervingly patient. It can stay submerged for hours, even days, with only its eyes and nostrils peeking above the water. From afar, they look like harmless bumps on the surface. Then, in a fraction of a second, everything erupts into chaos and the victim vanishes within its coils. And if you think these creatures live only deep in the wilderness, think again. Giant anacondas have already begun approaching urban areas. They slide through drainage canals, city rivers, and flooded tunnels, hiding beneath bridges and abandoned structures. In Georgetown, the capital of Guyana, massive snakes are often seen entering the streets at night. Pets disappear without a trace. In overgrown ditches, something heavy and silent pushes its way toward the water. Twice a day, when the tide rises and the mangroves flood, the perfect hunting window begins. The anaconda waits without moving, and any creature that lets its guard down makes its final mistake. This predator hasn't changed its hunting strategy in millions of years, and it doesn't need to. Its method is flawless. It is a shadow in the water, unseen until the moment of attack. Are you sure something like this couldn't be living near you? Burmese python. Have you ever heard that muffled, wet sound, the sound of something being crushed? No, not branches snapping in the forest, the sound of prey being swallowed whole. The Burmese python doesn't chase after its victim, doesn't make noise, and doesn't warn. It simply waits. And when it strikes, it's already too late. The Burmese python is among the largest snakes on the planet. 15 feet of living muscle capable of overpowering and killing even a full-grown adult. And unlike predators that dispatch their prey quickly, this serpent delivers a slow, agonizing end. Air disappears, bones give way, and the body begins its descent into a mouth that stretches far wider than seems possible. Its jaws, connected by flexible ligaments, move independently, allowing it to swallow animals the size of deer and, in several recorded cases, humans. Thinking this only happens in remote forests is a mistake. These pythons abandoned their native lands in Myanmar, India, and Vietnam long ago. Now they dominate parts of Florida. Released or escaped by humans, they turn the wetlands into their own empire. And it's not only birds and monkeys disappearing, even alligators have fallen victim to these giants. Recent studies show that this snake is one of the most efficient killing machines ever recorded. It waits patiently for hours or days, adapts quickly, and eats almost anything it finds. Its elastic skin and flexible skeleton allow it to perform feats no other snake can match. And the worst part? It learns. In Indonesia, multiple cases have surfaced where entire human bodies were removed from massive pythons. If a snake like this can swallow an adult whole, why wouldn't it do so again? King Cobra. From more than 300 feet away, it already senses your movement. Its forked tongue collects your scent, while the ground vibrations beneath you give away your exact position. But the most terrifying thing is the king cobra's ability to lift much of its body to get a better view of its next victim while still gliding forward with ease. The king cobra is the only snake capable of raising 1/3 of its length and continuing to move. Imagine a 16-foot predator standing more than 5 feet tall, flaring its hood and sliding straight toward you. It's in no hurry. It knows that if it chooses to attack, there is no escape. Its venom is pure neurotoxin, instant paralysis. First comes an overwhelming pain, then muscle failure. You're aware of everything happening, but you can't scream, run, or even breathe properly. Within 30 minutes, it's over. Yet shockingly, the king cobra doesn't always inject venom. This serpent is strategic. Often, when encountering humans, it will give a dry bite to scare them away. But if it decides to inject venom, that is the end. In Thailand, 1 out of every 3 people bitten does not survive. King cobras are aggressive, unpredictable, and do not tolerate mistakes. Your only hope is anti-venom or, according to local tradition, an herbal concoction that must be consumed before the bite occurs. Otherwise, it's useless. If you ever find yourself near a king cobra, running is not cowardice, it's survival. You can never truly know what goes through the mind of this silent predator. Black mamba. The black mamba is not just a snake, it's a sprinter built for killing. While you take a single step, it closes the distance by several meters. On open ground, it reaches 12 miles per hour and in bursts, up to 15. If it chooses to attack, you won't outrun it. Unlike most snakes that avoid humans, the black mamba will chase its target. It is aggressive and fiercely territorial. One bite contains more than enough venom to kill a person, but the mamba rarely uses only the minimum. It tends to inject far more. Within minutes, your body starts shutting down, first the arms, then the legs, then your breathing. You remain conscious through part of it, which makes the experience far more terrifying. Despite its name, the black mamba isn't actually black. Its body is gray, sometimes with a greenish tint. The darkness comes from inside its mouth. When it opens it, you see a hollow void, a tunnel of death. No warning, just a blur, a sting, and the countdown begins. Without anti-venom, there's no return. In Africa, the black mamba is feared as much as lions and crocodiles. It observes prey from elevated shrubs, lifting its head several feet off the ground. It loves basking in trees, warming itself in the sun. But when it decides to strike, nothing can stop it. And if you think you'd spot it in time, you wouldn't. The mamba is faster than your eyes can track. Bushmaster. In the deep jungles of South America, ancient stories circulate about a creature that thrives in darkness. Some say it watches travelers from the shadows and moves silently behind them, as if rising from the ground itself. This is the bushmaster, a serpent many locals believe will strike the moment someone lets their guard down. Some tales claim the bushmaster approaches campfires, drawn to the false sense of safety. With one swift movement, the tip of its tail, which some insist hides a small spur, would immobilize the victim, leaving them helpless until the jungle claimed them. Legend or not, Its sheer size is enough to inspire fear. The Bushmaster is the largest venomous snake in the Western Hemisphere, a true giant viper measuring between 8 and 9 feet, with reports of individuals even longer. During the day, it hides in old burrows, but once night falls, it begins to hunt. In some rare cases, it has indeed followed people wandering recklessly through the forest. But the Bushmaster is surprisingly sluggish. It moves only a few hours a day and hunts just a handful of times a year. And despite the myths, it rarely attacks first. Before striking, it lifts its head, hisses, and rattles its tail much like a rattlesnake. If the warning is ignored, then yes, the bite becomes unavoidable. And when it happens, it can be deadly even to adults. Yet the line between myth and reality remains blurry. The Bushmaster is undeniably deadly. But the stories of relentless pursuit and hidden claws may belong more to folklore than fact. And while you think about that, we move on to moments where these creatures appeared in places no one expected. Today, you discovered some of the largest and most fearsome snakes ever to exist. Creatures from ancient eras that may still be lurking in the densest forests, far from human eyes, and others that adapted to life beside us, slipping silently through cities and wetlands. They dwell in forests, swamps, underground tunnels, and sometimes in places we never imagine. Snakes like Titanoboa, giant anacondas, and black mambas are true weapons forged by nature. Each one is a masterpiece of evolution, a predator that does not forgive mistakes. Their strength, speed, and venom are results of millions of years of refinement. When you walk along a dark trail, pass by a lake covered in plants, or hear a strange rustle in the grass, you might not be alone. Nature still guards its secrets, creatures watching silently, waiting for the perfect moment to move. These animals remind us that the wild world remains closer than we think. With every step, the possibility exists that something ancient and deadly might be observing us. The boundary between our safe human world and the realm of predators is much thinner than it appears. The serpents we looked at today are living witnesses to the power of evolution. They are symbols of strength, adaptation, and the raw beauty of the natural world, beings that deserve respect and stir our fascination since humanity's earliest days. So the next time you hear a rustle in the grass, see a shadow glide through water, or walk down a silent alley, pause for a moment. Take a breath. And remember, something might be watching you right now. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of the most incredible and dangerous snakes on Earth, leave a comment telling me which one surprised you the most. Subscribe to Cloaked Mysteries and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next exploration into nature's hidden secrets.